If I create really great content, who's going to read it? If you take this content and you have a local newspaper in your area, local newspapers are hurting. So if you make something really relevant to your area, send it over to your local newspaper. Journalists are always looking for help. If you can help them, you'll get it published. And now, if it's published in newspaper or in a magazine that goes to your local area, guess what? Now you look like that local expert.
All right, here we go, everyone. Welcome.
What you got?
We've got Trenton Bodin on, and he's going to be showing us really blogging inside of the Chime CRM. Brett, this is like right down your alley, which is why I need to do like an interjection as Trenton is talking.
Okay, I mean, just so we know, this got me 46 hate messages in the Chime group the other day. So just be cautious.
We're in a safe place.
Like, hopefully we only get one of those this time.
Yeah, right? One. We're only shooting for one, everyone. And if you have one, put them in the chat, put them in the Q&A. I'll be answering them. And
sweet.
Go, Trenton, you're up, buddy. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, we're going to cover pretty much, the basic ins and outs of how to set up your Chime CRM to get blogging. It's a great resource to be able to share on social media, to include in newsletters, to include in different emails. It's a great way to gain engagement, things like that. And so we're going to kind of go through, some benefits of doing it and, how to set that up.
I like it.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
So here's actually over here on the right, an example of what one of the blog pages can look like. Basically when you click on your Chime website, when you go to the blog section, this is how it'll populate. So it'll show your, most recent blog that you're working on right now that you just posted. It'll show you the different categories that you have to where your viewers can kind of click through and see the other articles you have, as well as your recent posts will populate down here as well. This is all scrollable, so you'll be able to scroll through your different blog posts here. And then on the next page, we'll kind of go through how to customize that as well, because there's different styles that you can have on the blog. Yeah,
I'm gonna steal your screen just so we can showcase what you've built, because Trenton has built for us. Brett,
yo,
this is his kind of his specialty. He's really good at creating things, and I'm realizing the more freedom I give him, the more amazing stuff Trenton gives us. So. Thanks, Trent.
Awesome.
I appreciate you for that. Here's our main site, and
that's looking good, man.
Dude, he's doing such a great job. Check out the blogs that are popping up right here. So he's trying to help us by creating about one a day, weekday or so. Right, and we're like you said, the recent posts pop up over here with our little chat right there. We removed Grogu right now, but since the Mandalorian season 3 shows up today, that might change right back. So I don't know.
One of those days where the topic just goes completely over your head. Yeah, I just had that moment.
Okay. Back to you, Trenton, before I screw everything else up.
Awesome. All right. My presentation.
Question for you though, Trenton. So as we're doing this, so when you create blog content like that, are you just putting it on the Chime blog, or what else are you doing with the content?
Right now, just trying to get it onto the blog website, just to, have some content on there before I start driving traffic and everything.
Okay.
But there's definitely an option here later on where I'm going to walk through the ability to share these posts and how you should be sharing them on social media. Once we start building some of this content up, we're going to start adding some, testimonials or reviews from, or even some quotes or whatnot from agents that are on the team. So that way personalize them a little bit more as well. Right now, just trying to create that, load of content that we can have on the actual blog site.
Okay. So here's kind of a little sidebar here, but this will help people that are moving more toward wanting to see this content put in other places, right? Because it's really good on the site. But here's something you can do that takes your blogs beyond blogging, right? So Tristan, if you were to take this content that Trenton is creating for you, right? Pull up any area that you're talking about. Let's just say you're talking about Malibu, for example. Go to Malibu, take out your phone, and record using the content that Trenton creates. Literally read that as a script and make a YouTube video out of it, right? So now you're actually taking that same blog post, take the blog post that you have, put your video on there so someone, if they want to watch it, they can watch it. But for the most part, you take that same content that you're creating and you're putting it in multiple places, which gives more people the opportunity to find you and come back to your Chime site.
Yeah,
that helps.
That's a great idea, man. I'll tell you what we've been doing with other news articles is using the green screen feature on TikTok or CapCut.
Sure.
And exactly what you said, we can either snapshot it and have the heading of whatever it says at the top, and then say, hey, these are the 5 hiking trails you should go to in Malibu. It's behind you, right?
Okay.
And
hear me out.
And then go ahead, shoot.
Go to those 5 trails. Go to those 5 trails. And my reason for that.
Nice.
Right. So my reason for that is anybody can stand in front of a green screen and do that. I could be in Alaska with the snow outside right now and stand on the hiking trails in Malibu on a green screen. But if you're actually there and you're doing the content while you're walking, it gives the feel of localism, which is what people want and they're striving for.
Yeah, that one I wouldn't
go hike, Tristan.
Dude, that's more like a long form YouTube video, or if you're already hiking in there, it could be a really short. I love that, man. Great.
See,
great
have
job.
fun with it. Have fun with it.
This also works
Sorry, Trenton.
Oh, you're good. I was gonna say that works really well for like if you're trying to show off new home communities as well. Go to each one of those master plan communities and talk about some of those features that are in there. The top 5 best things at this master plan community. Go to the rec center, go to the parks, go to the model homes, things like that. So I think that's a great idea. Some of those benefits of creating a blog, we kind of talked over some of those, but mainly, to drive traffic to your website, engage potential clients, through bringing them back to the website, with different newsletters, different social media posts, engaging content that's going to keep them wanting more. And then you're also going to establish yourself as a trustworthy source of information. You're that local expert. So again, kind of put yourself in, the shoes of where your article is talking about. If you're talking about the 5 best beaches, go to each beach and give a quick review of each one that you like. And then for more information or more detailed information, check out this blog, where I break it down for you. Like one of the ones we have is about, I think it is like maybe the 5 top beaches, and then it breaks it down, which ones are dog friendly, or the dog friendly beaches I think I did. And then it shows you which ones you need to be on a leash, which ones you can be off leash, things like that, the true content that people are looking for, and then how do you stand out? Instead of just writing about everything related to real estate, what are those extra pieces that you can start, providing for people? Here's a couple regarding real estate as far as if you want to focus on luxury homes in the area, or maybe there's different investment properties or first-time home buyers. If whatever that niche is that you kind of want to, focus on, if it's first-time home buyers, then you're going to be providing different guides and tips for these, a buyer that's new to this area. What are some things they need to look out for? What are some things that are really going to benefit having as a real estate agent? So try to focus on, a couple things versus, a bunch of things. And then that way you can kind of really dive into a specific area.
It really helps when you know your niche, right? And I see so many agents, I coach a lot of agents that come in and go, I want to focus on everybody. And I'm like, I have a massive budget and I can't focus on everybody. You have to focus on a few key groups, right? And so I hear a lot of agents that go, I will never work with a first-time home buyer. I love first-time home buyers. Do you know why? They hold their home for about 5 years, and guess what they do after that? They do something else with it. They sell it, they move up, they move somewhere else. It's like, man, if I stay in front of them for 5 years, dude, I've got guaranteed future business. I love first-time home buyers. But the other big one is look at some of the areas like the Trenton's talking about. Okay, luxury homes. Great. If you're in the luxury market, go tour luxury homes and talk about the luxury homes that you're going through. Blog about them, vlog about them. Yeah, you mentioned areas, right? Golf course communities. Dude, if you are a golfer and you live near a golf course community, tie the two together. Go give some insider information, and you're going to attract clients that are similar to what you like. So,
exactly. You could be at the
sidebars.
Be at the tee box and like start doing a little quick interview thing, and then go hit your shot, and then it's like
do a course overview. Like I've done this before. Do a hole by hole. So in one of my communities that I focus on, I call it a digital farm. I digital farmed a community, right? And the way that I did that was I went to the golf course. I went hole by hole by hole. I did so much on that the golf course actually started driving people to my website so that the people could see, the golfers could see what they were going to get into before they played. That's how deep I went into it.
I'm super niche. You know, that actually reminds me of a tactic that we sometimes use on social media, whereas we're so repetitive on one thing. It feels like you're watching the same video over and over.
Yep.
But you're just really enticing the algorithm to finally catch that video and then explode it. Interesting, man. I never thought about that, Brett. That was really good. I like that. See, that's why I like talking, man.
So sometimes you just gotta prompt me.
Brenton, good job on prompting him.
Good job, Trenton.
I know, it made me think about 9 benefits of living at this, golf course community. And like I said, on each tee box, you then have some other feature. One of them could just be this gorgeous view that you have of overlooking this water shot or something like that. So there's kind of an endless opportunity there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some other tips to make the most out of your blog, helpful and informative content. So things that people are looking for, things that, they have questions about, that are related to the area, but maybe not necessarily specifically to, purchasing a home. You could do how-to guides, things like, how to get your home ready for, your first showing, or how to, find the right home in this area. What do you need to look out for? Provide some of those market trends and local insights. These seem like pretty simple topics that you can kind of create, probably 3 to 5 different articles or video articles about these. So they are endless, but these are just a great start, obviously, to get started here.
If you notice what Brenton's talking about right now, and what I see a lot of people do, is they go to a third-party provider, they grab content from the third-party provider, and they put it on their blog. And then they wonder why nothing happens with that. If you're noticing what Trenton's talking about in this whole thing, it's all getting local. It's all talking about things in your community, in your area, that other people aren't talking about. It's make yourself the area expert, and then people will start drawing themselves to that. So instead of using third-party providers, do exactly what Trenton's talking about here. Make these yourself. It will be so much better because you know your area so much better than another provider would, if that makes sense.
Definitely. And, using these high quality visuals that you're having, generating, true real content by taking a video somewhere, going out there and taking your own personal photos, as long as they're high quality, and obviously not kind of like a blurry image or something. Obviously you want to, scale it down for when you're going to be posting it on your website. But still, as long as you have something that's engaging and shareable, that's going to help, drive people to be able to click on your site, click on your links, things like that.
And so we have a question in there, and this is actually from Ryan, who is actually in the Tri-Cities market, which is where I came from. Ryan, no, I don't like KCM at all. And my reason for that, especially in a community like Tri-Cities, you're going to lose so many people there because it is not applicable to the Tri-Cities market. So try to make it very focused on your own market that you're working within, and keep away from those third party. There's 2 big ones. I'm not going to say it on the webinar. I don't need more hate mail than I already get. But what I will tell you is the couple of providers that are out there, they're not providing content that is relevant to your area. And that's the big thing. I wouldn't supplement with anything else. Just only create your own content.
Yeah, and I feel like I see a lot of stuff that's kind of like, very specific, detailed about like a house, but it's okay, but what's it like living there?
Right.
Those good feelings that you have. This house is amazing, but is it walkable? Is there like a park nearby if you have pets? Is there, some green grass to play on for kids that want to go play some pickup football? Things like that. That's not typically in a lot of these articles that are out there, but that's that, exclusive content that you can provide as a local resident.
Right. The big one is think about why people would be coming to, why are people reading that blog? What are they doing? Well, if you think about it, a lot of people are reading that kind of content, either if they're living in the city that you're in right now and they're thinking about things to do in that city, it's coming back, keeping their life a little more active in the community. That's option one. Option two is that someone that's moving to that area or moving to that community that wants to know more about it. Even if they live within the city, if they're moving into a subdivision or a community, if you focus on the kind of the nitty gritty of that area, you're going to get a lot more reaction, and you're going to get a lot more people coming back again, reading more of your content because it's relevant to what they're searching for and what they're looking to do. So keep it really focused, as hyper local as you can get, and you're going to get a lot more traction on your blog.
And then obviously the big one here is, how to optimize your blog for SEO. You can always use some other software, things like ChatGPT, to kind of help, use the right keywords and meta tags in your blog article, at least to get started. But obviously you want to kind of provide some of your own keywords and go through your actual article and pick out some of those big things that people are searching for. I know that Tristan's kind of gone over before, go into Google and say, what's it like living in Malibu? And then kind of look at some of those other questions that people are asking and making sure that you're using some of those keywords in your article specifically that you can then pull out for SEO as well. Obviously, you don't want to just bombard with keywords that aren't necessarily in your article per se, but that's a great way to get started with that, to be able to rank higher on those search engines. Another tip to make the most out of your blog, promote it on social media. Get people to come to your website. If you can have some good hashtags thrown in there, you can, cater to some different people that you might not have necessarily done that just from your organic post. Things like dog friendly. People that are dog lovers are going to want to go search out and find out where can they take their dog? Where are they allowed to take them without a leash? By having some of that information in there, you're great. It's all about trying to increase that visibility and engagement, and you can do that through catchy headlines, catchy subheaders to be able to help rank you as well.
So I'm going to give you, Trent, I'm going to follow on the dog thing for a second, okay? So let's say you're a huge dog lover, okay? I have more dogs than I'm probably allowed to have. I basically have my own dog sled team. They're just not trained yet to do it. We're working on it. But if you were to say that you love dogs, right? Here's one thing you could do right now, right? Go on to Facebook, create a Facebook page or group for dog lovers in your community, right? Pages work really well, and I'll explain why here in a few minutes. But go to like a local dog shelters. We had one back in Tri-City. It's called Mikey's Chance. Huge fan. Anyways, go to a local dog shelter. Go to a rescue. Interview those dog shelters and those rescues on camera, right? Go find all the local dog parks and do video reviews on the local dog parks. Find local groomers, right? Interview them. You don't need a ton of camera equipment. You literally need a phone, okay? So take all those videos, post them on your community Facebook page that you have for dog lovers in your community, right? Don't make this a real estate page. Make it a community page. So then introduce yourself as an agent, but after that, don't talk about real estate. Just talk about the focus of conversation, which is dogs, right? The idea here is to build familiarity in your community to keep you top of mind. The whole point, right? This is a digital farm. Surround yourself by people that are like-minded, and then have community meetups at like dog parks. Bring out all your dogs to like dog parks and try to get people from online offline. And you've created a conversion which most people can't do, because you've now connected with people that are like-minded. They're going to want to meet up with you, right? Invite groomers, pet stores, boarding companies, all of that. Have them all come to these events with you. Give people a reason to meet up a few times a year. You all connect over dogs. So that is, if you want a strategy that literally has worked for me hundreds of times, that's what works right there. Sorry, how to use the dog thing.
Well, you're good. You can easily replicate that with whatever your hobbies are. If you're a biker, you're a hiker,
Yep.
well, you like to walk, maybe you're
Boating,
like
skiing, dog sledding.
motorcycles. If you're a motorcycle rider,
Exactly. Give people a reason to meet up with you.
I like that. And then you can start selling real estate, but
Nailed it, because the trust is there.
yes, building that credibility as well. All right, so now you guys are probably wondering, well, how do we get to the blog? How can we start blogging? Well, that's pretty simple. Once you get into your CMS in Chime by just clicking on the website button up on the top of the tabs, all you have to do then is once you populate into here, you can then, there's a button here you can click Edit Website that usually shows up, but you have up here where it says Blog, and then you over here on the right side, it says Blog. Once you click on that, that's when you get taken to this next page, and then you can start blogging. So once you click on the blog, you'll populate into here where the posts are. You can create some of your categories, maybe if there's specific things you want. Right now, we kind of have it based on the city, or if we're doing open house ones, or if we're doing specifically to sellers or buyers. Those are some categories you could do there. And then obviously, if you have an RSS feed, you can get that set up as well. So your articles will automatically populate on there when you post them. But then if you did want to edit these, I should have put a little screenshot in here of it, but over, you'd have to scroll over a little bit, but there's a little edit button that you can kind of edit them in real time as well. But that's how you would create them. And then obviously, some things to keep in mind that are going to help, boost your rankings, help keep people excited and continuing to read. And one that I don't have on here is obviously, a good limit of words is probably about 500 to maybe 1,000 if you have a really detailed blog. You don't want to bore them, and you want to make sure that you still keep them engaged. And so a big thing with that is, having a catchy and relevant title. And as long as the whole article is kind of catchy and engaging, it's going to keep them flowing. But if it's very kind of straightforward written, that might probably have some drop-offs. So you just want to keep your focus on that. Using headings and subheadings to be able to break up your content. So if you just have 6 paragraphs, that might be a little, seem a little lengthy. But if you start putting, little subheaders of, if you're doing the top 5 things, having each one of those things break it up the paragraph, that's great. If you want to focus on different sections of a blog, you could definitely break it up like that. Having visuals, that's obviously a big one, especially to make sure that you can get even someone to the blog, because that first image that they see, then they'll see the catchy headline, but that's how they're going to get attracted when you start to post about these.
What do you use to get the images so that we don't have any copyright issues?
Unsplash.com is a big one that I've been using, and that one has a lot more, I would say, local feeling images, because there's a lot of people that are actually taking the images and then allowing for people to use them. And so that way it gets that local expert feel. It's kind of the big one that I've been focusing on. There's a lot of sites that will only have maybe 3 to 5 very basic images of what you're looking for. But that's the one that I've really had the most success with.
I've always been a fan of just going to take them myself. I mean, like I said, everybody has access to one of these now. I mean, I've got worlds of drones behind me, and like this does just as good as that $15,000 drone sitting back there. So all you need is this.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you are that local expert, Myself being in another area, I kind of have to resort to some images on the web. But yeah, if you are that local expert, definitely go out there, take those photos on the beach, take the photo of you hiking, get a little 5 to 10 second, Instagram story type thing that's going to then push to your blog article and things like that. And then at the end, always make sure you have a call to action. So once someone finishes the article, then what? Like, what do you want them to do next? Is it read another article? Is it go search for homes? Is it reach out to me if you have any questions regarding, what these hikes look like? Things like that. So as long as you have that defined, that's going to then create that next conversation.
I like that. I just used Midjourney to create a picture of Malibu.
Did you really?
Just to screw with you guys. Here, I just did it. I said Malibu beach with people surfing on it. So these are the 4 choices I just got instantly.
I love that.
That's actually not that bad.
Yeah, right. I can go deeper, right? So now
It's funny to use Midjourney a lot.
Yeah, dude. So anyway, that's fun. And then I know that Trenton, I want to show off how awesome you are. Okay, so don't get embarrassed because you're a badass. So here we go. Trenton, this is what Trenton does for us on Trello. He breaks down the topics, right? Finding a home in Malibu, moving to Malibu, exploring to Malibu, blah, blah. We keep going. But in each section, he's kind of breaking down what he's done so far so it's clear so that he doesn't reproduce it. Or if we need to expand on it, we expand on it. As the years get going, with 2024, we want to make these old ones relevant still. So go back into it and just add a year, anything that's changed. And so this is why he's keeping track of all of these right here on Trello. Anything I missed there, Trenton?
No, and I don't focus on each specific, column there all at once. I try to, grab a few different things from different areas so that way it seems like new content and not necessarily, it's not repetitive, but it's also not like all about homes. This way we're focusing on the community, focusing on what the lifestyle's like, focusing some of those main questions that people might have when they are looking to move there.
I love that.
Like it.
Linda says she was having a hard time. Linda, can you just type in what you're looking for and I'll put in whatever website you're looking for there. All right, go ahead, Trenton.
And then, so obviously, once you kind of finish up your blog, you're able to preview it on Chime beforehand, but you also can edit it in real time as well, unless you have some type of automatic feed that gets set up to where maybe you wouldn't want to just post it and then edit it. You'd have to consider that. But then you can share it on social media. Like I said, put it in some of those newsletters, and promote it on other marketing channels as well. Whatever you can do to kind of push back to your site, to push back to that content. And remember, you're trying to create that further conversation to happen. So as long as you continue to, push it in different avenues, you'll be able to accomplish that.
So I'm going to give you kind of my final, because I know we're running out of time. I'm going to give you my final tip here. People talk about, how do I get these things published? What do I do with them? If I create really great content, who's going to read it? So here's another little sidebar for you. If you take this content and you have a local newspaper in your area, local newspapers are hurting for content. They're always hurting for content. So if you made something really relevant to your area, send it over to your local newspaper. I cannot tell you how many articles I have had published in my local newspaper. Not only newspaper, online, because I submitted it to them. They posted online, they posted in a newspaper. I've had stuff go in local magazines before. And it's all just blog posts that I've written about for my area. So journalists are always looking for help. If you can help them, you'll get it published. And now, if it's published in newspaper or in a magazine that goes to your local area, guess what? Now you look like that local expert. So everybody's going to tell me, we don't have local newsletters. You do. Most communities do. Even Malibu has them. Seal Beach, California has the Seal Beach Sun. A whole bunch of places have local newspapers that are having problems getting content. So be that content provider.
That's an awesome suggestion. Like, I love that, especially since, you know, they'll probably put it online too.
Yeah,
So then
they do. So they put it online. Then think about that. Their site has more domain authority than your site does. So guess what happens at that point? Now that starts getting ranked. That goes back to your site.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So real quick, I'll kind of sum this up real fast. You can customize your blog page to however you like. So you can update this header information up here with whatever images you want. There's different styles that you can have of how the blogs get displayed. So definitely check that on your CMS. You can always view your blog analytics as well. So you can see, you know, if certain articles do really well, or certain days, you know, to kind of track that, and you can kind of make adjustments to whatever your article is on those days. You know, see the page views, bounce rate, time on page, those are all great. And then, you know, just my final takeaways here is, you know, blogs are always going to be an ongoing process. You know, there are always going to be updates you want to make. You might have some new things you want to add into it. And just remember that as long as you're creating high quality content, you can watch your real estate business grow there, because people are going to continue to come there. You're going to bring in new viewers, new readers, things like that, just based on the content that you're able to put out there. And you're establishing yourself as that credible source of that information. So that's just kind of my big takeaway. I want to take away with that is just, you know, keep at it, be that local expert, find a niche that you can focus on, and great things will come from it.
Agreed.
I like this. Dude, this was good. I like this a lot. Thank you. I think we're breaking down all of these little sections that Chime can help us with that we're like overthink. It's like, oh, I didn't know we could do that. Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate you. Brett, how do we get a hold of you? Have questions?
Easiest way is brett@brettbakercoaching.com, or you can text me 562-553-8300.
I love
I should
it. How about you, Trenton? There we go. Trenton put up his link there.
Trenton's smarter than I am. So
it was just quicker while you were talking. That was it.
Right.
I just did that question.
Out of it. Love it. Great job, Trenton. That was awesome, man. Thank you for doing that.